All right, in this video, we're going to be going over the $1 Million Brand Playbook. We're going to be breaking down Dossier because this brand, when I tell you, is like one of the best masterclasses in website user experience for brands, and something that you can take for your fashion or clothing brand. I mean it, because this is one of the best brands I think I've seen ever execute a checkout process on their website. And so you can take the things that they do and implement it into your clothing or fashion brand. And even though they're a perfume brand, very similar marketing anyway. And I want to start getting you into the mindset of like, you don't need to look at other clothing brands for your marketing. It's more important to look at the broad scope of direct consumer for you to learn like the different marketing that works right now, the different tactics that work. And so that's what we're going to go over in this video, is Dossier's masterclass in website experience and just classic social media marketing. So if you haven't yet, subscribe for more. I basically just make videos every single week where I break down exactly everything that I know about scaling a brand to millions of dollars per year, getting our silver Shopify bag, and even making the Inc. 5000 list for 2025. So with that, let's just get right into it. Now, Dossier is really good at just implementing the classic social media strategy. They just consistently have content being put out about them. And it's because of these three things that they have going on. So the first thing is they have very solid paid UGC, which is basically just when you get creators, micro creators, big creators, whatever, to make user-generated content about your brand so that you can create the social proof that's necessary for someone to buy from you. Okay, and these pieces of content actually live on their Instagram, and the brand actually posts these. So like Dossier themselves actually post these. Now, they don't do collab posts with these people, but I think they should. That's what I would do. That's probably the only thing I would change about this brand in general. It's like doing collab posts and doing partnership ads. They're not doing any of those things, but it's still really good. It's a good classic social media strategy. Then we also have the TikTok affiliate army. Like, they literally have so much going on TikTok affiliates. They must have done a huge campaign of just sending affiliates out a bunch of product or something, because they kill it on TikTok. It's like one of the biggest brands I've seen on TikTok. This is actually how I found out about it, is because my girlfriend told me she wanted some from TikTok Shop like a long time ago. And that's how I found out about this. And then from there, they have a literal onslaught of meta ads. So they take over pretty much every piece of content that they paid for UGC to go on their normal socials. They take all of that and they also run it as ad placements, along with other different things that they make on the brand side of things. They splice it up. They make it into a bunch of different content. The only thing that they don't do that I think they should do is partnership ads. They don't do, from what I saw, any partnership ads. But they have literally, just this month alone in December, they've launched over 170 ads. So they're just like content powerhouse. Because when you think about it, just like clothing and fashion, it's pretty much just social proof at that point. There's not really a function that your product is going to provide that like another brand can't provide, or that's super unique. And that's like what perfume is essentially. And it's actually hard to sell perfume when you can't smell it because it's just online. But these people do it by just an onslaught of consistent social proof and people talking about them. And I think that's something that you can learn for your fashion or clothing brand. Now, the main takeaway, as I've already been saying, is social proof. I have it written down here because that's all. It's all they do is just social proof, social proof, social proof, social proof. I didn't really dig into any of the angles that they're taking or anything like that, but it's just perfume. It's just cologne. Like, there's nothing you can really do. There's not so much you can do when someone can't smell it in person. And so it's really just social proof, social proof, social proof. I think it's great for fashion brands as well. Now, I'm going to get into the website because that's where they really shine. And this is where I think most people are going to have takeaways. But before I do that, if you wanted to work one-on-one with me to build something out for your brand that's similar to this, create a strategy for you to like take away and start working on so that you can become a large brand like this, then you can click the link that's in the description of this video and we can work together in some way. There's different ways for us to work together on there. Now, their website is something that I think should be studied in colleges because of how good it is. And it starts all with the product page. Now, the product page is pretty simple. It's not very long. I feel like a lot of people who do products like this, they try and make a really lengthy, product page that explains a bunch of shit. And I just realized my water bottle's in the way of my shot. Most people try to create some big lengthy copy and like sell the whole thing and like the origin of the product, whatever. These guys just keep it very simple, where it's just obviously the add to cart above the fold and enticing descriptive photos, which is really important. So it's a function of just having the add to cart button above the fold and then just really informative and descriptive photos. So it's not necessarily text in the photos, it's showing the mood and essentially trying to depict what the scent is for this. For you, if it was like a fashion brand or a clothing brand, you'd say you try and explain the feeling by showing the environment as what the feeling is, if this is what you're going to do. And so that they've just do a really good job of like being very concise, very clear. You can add it to cart. That's pretty much the main function besides choosing the size, and that's it. And so that's really good. And they only have necessary information. They're only telling you what's necessary for you to be able to make a direct buying decision. They're not forcing you. They're not forcing a bunch of copy on you, a bunch of explanation on you. All they want you to do is add to cart. Look, it looks nice. It smells like sandalwood. Buy it. It has 4,400 reviews, whatever. Right? That's what you need to do, is clear but informative product pages. Now, I zoomed in on the buy box, which is essentially just where the add to cart button lies, just so that I can explain exactly what they're doing here that I think is really good. And now the first thing is that they have an objection handler that's like right underneath the add to cart button. And I think that a lot of people should focus mainly on the objections here. People are always trying to give options, tell about what the product is about, all that type of stuff. When a person gets to your product page, the main thing that you want them to do is add it to cart. And so you need to think about what's going through someone's head when they're about to add to cart. And usually it's about shipping and returns, and if there's some sort of discount that they can get. That's literally the main thing about it. It's not like what GSM the fucking t-shirt is. The general consumer doesn't care. It's not about the blend of fabrics. General consumer does not care. They don't even know what that means or care to know what that means. They need to know that if they buy this, can they and it doesn't fit or they regret it or whatever, can they return it? And how long is it going to take to get to their house? Because maybe they have a plan for it, right? Maybe they're planning on wearing it next weekend at some shit that they're about to go to, right? And so you need to break down those objections. Oh, I don't think it's going to get here fast enough. Oh, it says it ships within 2 to 3 days. Perfect. Great. I've never tried this brand before. Does it fit me? If it doesn't, I can exchange it within 30 days. Just show those simple things to break down those objections. That's all you really have to do in this buy box. And so the key takeaway that I wanted to show you here is specifically they have these condensed like information pills that you can click right here, which I think is really cool. I haven't seen that very much. And so you can see they have the shipping returns, the FAQ, all that stuff is like condensed into this little thing that scrolls right here. And so main thing that I want you to take away from this is to not overload your customer with information that they don't want. If someone wants this information, like what the shipping is, the FAQ, notes and ingredients, which for you would essentially be like fit and product composition, the blend, all that type of stuff. You want to make sure that the customer only sees that stuff when they want to discover it. So you have them click into these things. So that's pretty much it for the product page. When you add it to cart, this is where the big stuff happens. with this brand. So inside of their cart drawer, because when you click cart, it just has like a little drawer that comes up. It's not like a page. I want pretty much every brand that I talk to get away from product pages. Use a little drawer that swings out. It's just better user experience. Now, they have the classic like AOV driver at the top, which basically is just for you to offer like discounts for people to buy more items. I think every single brand should have this. Like when you add 2 or more items, you get 40% off here. See what I'm saying? That's a huge incentive for you to not just buy one. And then if you get 3 or more, they have free shipping. So that's another big incentive. And it pushes people to increase the average order value that they're spending with you. Now, here's a really interesting thing that I saw. I don't see a lot of brands doing this, but offering like a free little product of some sort, something that they can carry with them, I would say would be the best, like a keychain or something like that, so that they could rep the brand in like small ways that just like goes in there for free and they can add it in there. That's a really cool option. Or just notify that they're getting a free item. I think that's great for first-time customers because not only does it get them to kind of enter into your world more, especially if it's a keychain that they carry around every day, but it also introduces them to new products, which is really important. You want people to consume multiple products from you. You're not a business if you don't have return customers. And so you want to start introducing them to more products. And then I think probably the coolest thing that they do on their website is the subscribe and save model. You would think for fashion or clothing, you can't really do that, but we've done it in our brand before. And it works really well because if you can say like Fabletics, for example, they have a subscription model where you pay, I don't know, I think it's like $60 a month or whatever, but then you get $60 of credit towards products. And so you're able to kind of lock in someone buying from you every single month, and they still get that same amount of money in product. This is great for if you drop consistently, or if you have like a core line or something like that people can consistently buy from. And you can offer discounts, free shipping, all that cool stuff. But the main thing is that if you can generate recurring revenue, and you know for a fact these people are coming back, and you know you can keep up with that, like you're consistently dropping new product and stuff like that, then doing something like this is amazing. You can see that they have the option to not do that, to not have the subscription, but like your discount goes down. You don't get your free item when you do that, and things and all of that type of thing. So if you can do something like this, this is a lot of custom coding, so I don't know if like everyone can do this. It's not very difficult to code something like this from what I understand, but there are apps for you to be able to add, subscribe, and save, and all of those types of things on Shopify. So this is a really, really good tactic. I don't think many fashion or clothing brands really use this, and I think they should, especially for your more devoted customer. If they're already buying every drop, why wouldn't they just get on a subscription for them to like save? This is just a really good idea. It's worked for us. We've made plenty of money from this type of stuff. And so definitely something to think about. Probably the most unique thing that Dossier does is this type of like, if you get the membership, you get extra money off, you get a free gift, all that type of stuff. I think that's really cool. And so if you scroll down on the cart page or in the cart drawer, you'll see that there's also the in-cart upsells, which are just like a classic thing that I think everyone should have if you have multiple things in your catalog at once, which every clothing brand should have products available, I think, in my opinion, and not just close their site and be lazy with it. And this basically just keeps people shopping in the cart so they don't leave the cart to go buy more items or whatever. When someone makes the leap into the cart, you don't want them to go backwards. You see what I'm saying? When someone goes into the product page, you don't want them to go backwards. Whenever they make some sort of action to get closer to checkout, you want them to keep going forward. You don't want them to go backward. So someone goes to the product page, you want to make sure that they don't leave the product page and go back to collection or homepage. You want them to add to cart, and when they add to cart, you don't want them to leave the cart. You want them to keep shopping inside of the cart. That's why you have these AOV things, so that people want to add more to cart, and then you give them the options inside of the cart for them to add to cart. You see what I'm saying? So you don't want them to go back and leave the cart, which is great. And this also introduces them to new product. which is a big part of, having a consistent customer base. So that's pretty much it. When it comes down to like the cart mechanics and the offerings, I think that Dossier has done a great job. Obviously they have this, tested down to a T. I'm sure this is so high converting for them that, this is exactly how they can fund their onslaught of Facebook ads and TikTok affiliates and stuff like that. This is all of the back end that makes that work so well, and allows them to have the budget to do something like that. Is just a really, really solid checkout experience and product page. And so with that, if you want me to help you build something out like this with your brand, you can do that by clicking the link that's in the description of this video. We can work either inside of my 30-day mentorship program. You can even just jump on a coaching call with me and I'll help you craft a strategy that's similar to this, but for your brand. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you haven't yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video, share this video, help out a small channel, and I'll see you in other videos.